Welcome to This Explainer. Look, today we're going to completely tear down everything you thought you knew about hitting your goals by confronting a deeply held belief that is, honestly, almost certainly holding you back right now. We're pulling back the curtain on the true architecture of action, and we'll be diving into the hard science of cognitive psychology to see how confidence is actually built. For decades, researchers have been studying the mechanics of human behavior, and what they've found? Well, it contradicts pretty much everything we intuitively feel about getting started on a massive goal. So let's unpack this whole thing.
Okay, let's just jump right in and talk about that internal monologue. You know exactly the one I'm talking about. It's that quiet, totally persistent voice in your head telling you to just wait. Wait until you truly feel ready to start that business, or to speak up in that high-stakes meeting, or to finally chase those dreams you've been sitting on for years. We all have this deeply ingrained instinct to just hit pause, right? To scan the horizon looking for that absolute perfect moment where the timing is flawless and all those nagging doubts just magically vanish into thin air.
But here's the thing, and this is what's so fascinating. That exposes the absolute biggest myth we've ever been sold about how success actually works. So many people spend their entire lives waiting to become confident before they take a single step forward. Society is constantly feeding us this idea that confidence is the spark. It's the match that lights the fire of progress. We sit there thinking, when I finally feel confident, that's when I'll make my move. But the behavioral science is explicitly clear on this. It's a massive lie. Confidence absolutely does not come first.
Actually, scratch that. It's the complete opposite. The crucial point here is that you do not need to feel good or motivated or totally secure before you begin. Why? Because confidence just isn't a prerequisite for action. The hidden truth of human psychology is that action always comes first. You don't need confidence to start. You literally just need the willingness to move forward without it. And yeah, that flips our standard operating procedure completely upside down. It demands that we step out into the arena way before we actually feel equipped to handle it. Think about this in the context of a classic childhood experience, learning to ride a bike. Go back to that very first time you tried to balance on two wheels. Were you confident? No way. You were entirely nervous. You were terrified, and you probably fell down, maybe a bunch of times, scraping your knees all up in the process. But there's such magic in that process, because every single fall taught your brain one fundamental truth: you survived. And it was only after you realized you could survive the fall that the fear slowly started to transform.
And that beautifully illustrates the core point. Confidence is never the cause of your success. It is merely the byproduct of doing the hard thing over and over and over again. That's exactly how life works across the board. Launching a startup, doing public speaking, learning a new language, you name it. You don't get the feeling in order to do the action. You have to perform the action in order to earn the feeling.
Psychologists actually have a specific term for this, and understanding it is absolutely key to unlocking why your brain demands proof of survival before it just hands you confidence. It's called self-efficacy. Basically, you need to think of your brain as this fiercely protective, highly logical survival machine. It doesn't just hand out confidence for free like candy. It collects evidence. It logs your actions as physical data points of survival. The more evidence your brain collects that you can successfully handle a difficult situation, the stronger your self-efficacy becomes.
Yet this is exactly where so many of us get stuck, right on the edge of our potential, completely paralyzed. We make the fatal mistake of waiting for a feeling that mathematically cannot exist yet. Think about it. If your brain literally requires the physical evidence of action to produce the feeling of confidence, then sitting still and waiting for the feeling is a total paradox. You're waiting for an emotion that only shows up after you begin the work.
Let's make this really concrete. It's like standing at the edge of a freezing cold swimming pool. If you stand there on the deck waiting for warmth, waiting until you feel perfectly comfortable before you get in, you are never going to jump. You're going to be standing there forever just shivering. But the second you take the plunge, your heart rate spikes, you gasp. But then miraculously, your body regulates. Your brain and your body rapidly adapt to the temperature. The comfort only arrives after the shock of the jump. Which brings us to a harsh, but honestly deeply empowering reality. The world does not care about your perfectly laid plans or your great intentions if they lack forward momentum. Life rewards movement, not waiting. Your brain, your environment, they respond to action. The physiological adaptation, the cognitive growth, and ultimately the success, all of it happens while you are in motion. It literally never happens while you're in a state of indefinite pause.
Now, you might be looking around at elite performers, the visionary CEOs, the record-breaking athletes, the incredible artists, and you're probably thinking they must just have some genetic gift of bravery. We tend to assume they're just naturally confident people who don't experience the doubts we do. Well, let's shatter that illusion right now. It is a completely false narrative.
It's just a story we quietly tell ourselves to justify our own inaction. The really fascinating truth is that every single person you have ever admired has been haunted by the exact same paralyzing emotions when they started out, and frankly, often well into their monumental success. They feel insecure about their abilities, they feel totally uncertain about the future, they feel deeply afraid of failing publicly, they experience the exact same internal resistance, that exact same heavy dread in the pit of their stomach that you do.
But here is the real game changer. Here's the secret sauce. The elites simply refuse to let insecurity make their decisions for them. They feel the fear, for sure, but they do not negotiate with it. They don't pull up a chair and sit at the bargaining table with their doubts. They acknowledge the terror, they recognize the uncertainty, they feel that biological urge to just run away, and them? They act anyway. Action is their absolute non-negotiable baseline.
Let's look at the ultimate fork in the road to see why natural ability alone is never enough to determine your destiny. Imagine two people born with the exact same level of talent, the same raw potential, the same resources, and the same opportunities. Based on pure talent alone, their life outcomes should be totally identical. But as cognitive psychology and just watching history shows us time and time again, they almost never are.
And it comes down to this one single behavioral choice. Person A waits for confidence. They wait for that elusive feeling of readiness. They analyze every possible outcome, and as a result, they stay completely stagnant. But Person B builds it. They step out into the unknown, they take the hits, their brain collects that undeniable evidence of survival we talked about, and they literally manufacture their own confidence through sheer, unrelenting action.
So look, if you are currently waiting for all the stars to perfectly align before you begin your journey, you have got to stop. You have to actively embrace the messy, uncomfortable reality of taking a flawed first step. Because that perfect moment everyone talks about, it doesn't exist out there in the ether, just waiting for you to stumble upon it. The perfect moment is actively created by your imperfect action. Every single time you push forward despite your fear and take a small step, you send a powerful, undeniable message to your brain. You are teaching your nervous system, hey, I can do this. And as you repeat that behavior, it leverages neuroplasticity to eventually rewire your neural pathways at your very core. This isn't just about building temporary bravery. It physically changes your brain to form a brand new identity of someone who executes regardless of how they feel.
If this explainer shifted your perspective today, definitely remember to subscribe, because this core idea is the exact blueprint you need to stop waiting and start building. Confidence isn't found, it's built. It's not something you magically find under a rock, and it is certainly not something you can just summon out of thin air with a positive thought. It is meticulously constructed, brick by brick, through the tangible actions you force yourself to take every single day.
So I want to leave you with this final, vital question to answer for yourself right now. What imperfect action will you take today? Take a second to really think about that. Don't wait for tomorrow, and please, whatever you do, don't wait until you feel ready, because your new life, your confident, highly capable life, begins the exact moment you stop watching, stop waiting, and start moving.